Hello guys, gals, and my fellow VEDS-ies, and welcome to the final day, day 30 of VEDS. Today's video, as I had mentioned yesterday, is going to be a retrospective sort of look at VEDS. I'm calling it VEDS in Review, where pretty much I'm going to go over the videos that I put out in VEDS, which ones I thought were my best, which ones I thought were my worst, talk about sort of the trends that took place during the overall month of VEDS, and any other assorted info that comes my way. And in the coming days, I am going to be releasing a channel update video of sorts, just letting you guys know what the channel is going to look like as we veer towards Halloween, Christmas, and of course, the end of 2016. Now, for this year being my first year of VEDS, I actually uploaded about 32 videos, but that's counting videos like the streaming Saturday announcements when I used to do those, in addition to the actual streams themselves. And before we get too far into that, since I've already kind of mentioned it, let me talk about the first trend that I saw over this month of VEDS. The streaming Saturdays, the talking Tuesdays, the watch 'em Wednesdays, the themed days pretty much, sort of started to dwindle. Pretty much after day 17, there were no themed days anymore. And unfortunately, that shows a glaring problem with my month of VEDS. When I initially came up with the idea of these themed days for VEDS, I did it because I thought that would make making the videos easier, because I always would know what I was supposed to do for any given day. And while for some of them that was true, it eventually proved to be a lot more limiting than I had initially anticipated. There were things that I maybe wanted to do, but because it wasn't that themed day, I couldn't really make it work, and I had to stretch a lot to try and come up with something else to talk about within a given time frame. For example, when I started doing the Let's Play of Aladdin for the Sega Genesis, that would have had to have fallen under either a streaming Saturday or a freeform Friday. And I would not have been able to make the parts come out in succession because it would have been a once-a-week sort of a thing. So looking onward to VEDS next year, one thing I can almost tell you from right off the bat is that themed days are not going to be a thing. And another thing going along with that is that because some days I maybe had to stretch to come up with something to talk about, some of the videos varied in length, with some being upwards of like 4 to 6 minutes, while others being maybe under a minute or about a minute long. And I really wasn't wanting to do that. So with all of that out of the way, let me quickly touch upon what I felt were my best and worst videos for this month of VEDS. My best is kind of a hard choice, but I would have to say it's a tie between day 19, which was the Phantasmic 2.0 / Talk Like a Pirate Day video, while also being day 22, which was the start of the Let's Play to Aladdin on the Sega Genesis. Now, I picked these two for sort of completely different reasons. I picked day 22 because Creator Plays was a series that I had always wanted to bring back. I was never completely satisfied with how I had originally done those videos, and believe me, they are not worth searching and watching. Trust me, they are very cringeworthy. So I was happy that I was able to bring it back to a standard of quality that I was very content with. And yeah, spoiler for that update video, Creator Plays are going to be a mainstay on this channel now. As for day 19, which was the Phantasmic Talk Like a Pirate Day thing, that video I picked because it was just fun to do. It was fun to sort of do something different, break away from the norm, sort of get a different backdrop, a different look for my persona, and just have a ball talking about stuff that I love in a very silly way. If I had to pick a third place, it would probably be all the way back in day 2 when I did a Freeform Friday video in which I released an unfinished episode of a series I was trying to do at the time called From Screen to Stage. That one being based on the producer's movie versus the producer's musical. From Screen to Stage was a series I was trying to do that was sort of like Matt Guyan's Books versus Movies, and if you watch that episode of VEDS, you can clearly see that's what I was taking inspiration from. And again, spoiler for that video that I'm going to do the channel update, From Screen to Stage is going to make a comeback. I just have to figure out a way to make it my own. I pretty much released that finally to sort of gauge viewer interest, to see if this would be something that people would want to watch. And after listening to the kind words of Spartan967 in his video yesterday, I have done some thinking, and yes, again, spoiler for that video, it is going to become a mainstay on this channel. As for Pilot Obscurities, which was another series I tried to do, that's sort of on the boiler. But again, I'll get into all of that in that update video. Hands down, my worst video during VEDS is anything related to Showcase Sunday. I thought that would be such an easy thing to do, and to be fair, it is, but I honestly underestimated how much free time I was going to have this month, so I wasn't ever able to do an actual episode. I always had to put it off, or do something that maybe took less time to do. One last thing I want to touch upon in terms of a trend for VEDS for me is that I didn't really ever answer a lot of the challenges that were put forth by my other fellow VEDS-ies. Yes, on day 26, I did do Matt's trailer challenge, but I didn't do Matt's other challenge, which was the genre challenge, nor did I do Spartan Knight 67's challenge, which was the challenge for a Greek tragic hero. VEDS 2016 was a really fun first experience, but before I close off this video, I want to extend a very big thank you to the 3 other VEDS-ies that I know about. Matt Guyan, aka Bangeek8408, Spartan Knight 67, and Jesse of Coded Lock Films. You guys were amazing, you were very welcoming, and really are overall just really great people, and I cannot thank you enough for all of your kindness during this month of VEDS. And that's pretty much all I have to say for today, guys, and until next VEDS, guys, gals, and my other fellow VEDS-ies, I will see you next September.